Volume solo. Okay, there we go. I really want you to see something. I really want you to see something. It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. Imagine just being one of those. Just walk around, eat some leaves sometimes. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, it's got no predators, dude. It just eats leaves and nothing eats it. And it hangs out, man. When are we swapping to Steam chats for a Discord alternative? Nothing will be better than Discord until they all completely change their services, which is why I don't see it happening. It's going to take a lot of paid dev hours for any of these other tools to replace Discord. Many of them could replace it as far as simply being able to VC with people or simply being able to message friends. But a lot of Discord is stuff like mine, like a creator server. And there's nothing that replaces that right now. So I think the other stuff is totally fine for your basic functions. There's so many options that'll just work for your basic stuff and for keeping together with friends. But all the creator servers and servers for like games and stuff. You know how many games have their own Discord servers to keep their community together and everything? That most of Discord's use is in formats like that and just DMs, right? So I don't see it. I don't see it changing up. So even if someone built a one-to-one legal Discord clone, still wouldn't survive because of network effects. People don't adopt new things. I can't stand Undertale music when it's this stuff. There's so much good music, and this is like the one that plays. I can't. Like, a lot of the other music is good, and then that's the one that plays on the video, of course. Anyway, people don't adopt new things, so yeah, I'm not safe for work servers personally, so I'm not super super worried about that functionality, you know? There's a lot of other places to consume that if that's your concern. He said Blue Sky was literally cloned Twitter based on Twitter's backend and still died in a month. Yeah, it even had some better features here and there, and yeah, it still fucking died. That's the thing is people don't adopt new things. This is actually, I think it's a really bad idea to try to make something that is a clone of something else and be like, I'll do it better though. When that thing you're trying to clone is holding so many users, it just is so unfeasible, and you end up making a project that just, it's just dead in the water. You know? It just doesn't happen, and it sucks. I wish there were more competition, but you need to offer some sort of different functionality, a reason for people to want to try it out. If you do the same thing, people will be like, fuck, my community's still on this old one, so I'm going to stay on the old one, and it'll happen every time. You know, it'll happen every time. So you can't just do more of the same. That's why I did not make a management company. When people were like, Geega, make a company. That's why I didn't make an agency. I was like, this is not, what's the point? You know? You got to make something different. So Blue Sky still doesn't have a working forgot your password process. Yeah, I think they launched too early. Even then, they had no choice, really. Is Uber the exception to that rule? There was nothing that was widely adopted that was like Uber. There were some basic rideshare apps, but none of them had like the crazy market share that Uber has right now. Like they didn't have that many users. So when you see a market that's like kind of open, there isn't like a monolith in it, then you don't need to worry. Yeah, Lyft existed, but it did not have that many users. People were still going and doing the old way in a lot of cases. Lyft didn't have that many people actually using it. It was just the only one. So Uber was the first one that got that many people onboarded because they were able to outmarket Lyft because Lyft existed, but there wasn't an app that like everyone used. It's not like everyone used Lyft at the time, you know? So that's really what it all kind of counts on. That's why I'm sorry, dude. I keep seeing all these, I gotta say it, man. I keep seeing companies pop up where they're making blank for VTubers. This thing, but for VTubers. Stop doing that. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You're targeting a really tiny group of people that already have places to do those functionalities, and you're gonna build them the same thing, but only for their small community. It doesn't work. It'd be cool if it did. I like the idea on paper. It just doesn't functionally function. VTubers for VTubers. No, I'm talking about like streaming platforms and stuff as a good example. Or someone was like, I'm going to make something that's like Twitter, but for VTubers specifically. It fits their needs. And I was like, brother, why would anyone... How are they going to market to anyone who doesn't already watch them? What? I'm going to create this tiny space where only like 10,000 users that actively use the platform are on it. And then everyone's trying to appeal to those same 10,000 people. Like, what? Who does this help? Nobody. I love the idea of the feature list. It just, the product doesn't actually need to be made, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like super niche. Want to go somewhere where you can never grow? It just doesn't work out, you know? VGen almost fits that, but it's actually art in general, so it's broader. Yeah, right? Like, it has broad appeal. Even then, they only marketed to VTubers, so I think that's been a little rough for them, but you know. But I feel like everyone keeps doing that shit, and I'm like, what are you doing? But then again, I mean, every bad idea that people execute on that doesn't do well is great, because then I could make stuff that works instead. They're being very useful because my shit will do better when other people don't execute good ideas. LOL. No, but seriously, they keep executing things, and I'm like, no, your idea was so good, but then you like hamstrung it. You hamstrung it. LOL. I'm bringing LOL back. I'm bringing LOL back. I've been saying LOL out loud a lot. Bring it back, dude. Did it ever leave? Not for me. Not for me. I don't know, man. Every time they make a new platform, they're like, this is a streaming platform for VTubers. The first reaction I hear on the back end, people don't like necessarily say it publicly, but the first reaction I hear is people going, yeah, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. I can't grow there. Lol. They say it instantly. And then people are like, I'm going to make a Twitter for just VTubers. I'm going to make something that's like YouTube Shorts, but it's just for VTubers. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. Like, you can functionally make it, but it won't make you enough money to keep your company going and to grow your thing. It just... Stop doing that. Stop. Or keep doing it so my ideas can fly, I guess. I don't know. But, like, stop doing that. Come on, man. Come on. I don't know. The problem is the people that are driving the ideas are developers, and they're just developers, and they're not really in the strategy side of all that stuff, so they don't really, you know, they're just like, I want to make my cool idea, and that's kind of where their end of their thoughts are, right? Which is fine if you're just doing it for you. You just want to do your project. I think that's actually fine. But if you're doing it and then you're like, why isn't my shit growing? Why isn't my platform growing? I don't know. You said, I saw an indie VTuber I follow who regularly complained about never being able to grow. Just start promoting some VTuber-specific streaming service, and I just feel bad at this point for him. Don't feel bad. They're stupid. And I don't mean this offensively. I'm trying to be, like, very cut and dry here. Don't feel bad. You know, like, you can't help people. You can't help them. You can't help them. I think if it's like your spare time and you want to help other platforms because you're hoping they grow, that's fine. But when you're like, you know, living paycheck to paycheck and you're like, I really need this thing to work out for me. And then you make strategic decisions that are just not even like neutral, but like net negative for you. You can't even feel bad for people at that point. I mean, they need to do something else, you know? It sucks, but yeah, if they're doing it willingly and people are like, hey, maybe it's not the move. What can you do? What can you do? I know at least for a lot of my smaller friends that like maybe there's something that I feel like they don't get yet. I try to help them by telling them, hey, yeah, this thing you're doing is actually not the right thing for you or whatever it is, right? I let them know, but that's it. I drop the information. If they can't really do anything with it, that's, you know, it's on them. I don't feel bad. I'm just like, hey, I gave you what I could, you know. You know what I mean? A lot of new streamers could do the course on business marketing. You know what I think? I think no. I think they need to, I've said this before, but if you're going to do this type of job and be good at it, you need to be able to do all of this without anyone teaching you anything. You need to go learn on your own. You need to be able to research. And if you can't do that, you're going to struggle every step of the way. And you're just not going to have the ability to make it, you know? Like, you got to be able to do it on your own with no one making a course for you or spoon-feeding you. There are videos where people spoon-feed you stuff about, you know, various topics, but you need to be able to, on your own, be like, I need to learn about this. I am going to go look it up and then search and read a lot of things and watch a lot of things to learn about this, aggregate the info, and then apply it. You need to be able to do that process. If you can't do it, you know, time to learn. So, you know, you need to be able to sit there with nothing and make something, right? If you're trying to like make it as in you're trying to like find great success. I think if you don't care, then none of this matters. You know, I think people should just be happy doing this as a hobby because it's fun. No, I mean, and stuff changes so fast. Yeah, that's the other thing is like when you brought up, it won't work because everything that you studied within the past couple of years has changed a lot. Yeah, this whole everything here moves so fast and changes constantly. You have to be able to sit there and reabsorb and shift how you think about everything constantly. So, like I said, like no matter how big you get, you have to keep learning and you have to be able to keep researching. So you gotta do it. Yeah, there's no template. So I've got a load of theory to help grow in my mind issues doing it. Yeah.
How far into VTubing were you when you realized you could use your past work experience to get in?
Get in what?
Get it from the jump?
How far into VTubing were you when you realized you could use your past work experience to get in? Get in what? Just business strategy in? Oh, just like to get it and to get in. No, and to like understand and really, I see what you mean. Sorry, hubris for a second. I, from the get-go, was like, if I want to do this, I could do this. But I didn't go into it thinking, I'm going to try and really do this, because I was just doing it as a hobby. And I didn't care. And I thought less growth was better because it was just a hobby. And then you can literally see... You look at like my Twitch tracker. I started off just like collabing at random times and for like 2-3 hours, whatever, just playing games with friends. And then at some point I started just going boom, solo streaming. And that's when I literally sat down and said, I'm gonna try to grow now. Watch this. And then I did. That was it. There was just a point where I was like, I'm gonna try now, and it worked. And I don't want to say that, like, I'm the greatest to ever have done it or some shit like that, but there are certain things that you know you're capable of, and it's just based on your skill set. If I'm able to sit there in a room of a bunch of old dudes and tell them why they should buy this thing, why you should do this, whatever, you know, like if I can convince them of shit that they don't even know about, well, I could probably sit in front of an audience and talk to them and keep them engaged, right? It's different. I'm not really selling them on anything. I'm just sitting here and entertaining or whatever. But like, you know, the soft skills that I already had and some of the hard skills already transferred. So I was like, yeah, if I wanted to do this, there's so many parallels, I probably just could. Right? So it wasn't like me thinking like, oh, I'm so good. It was more like, I think I just have the base skills to at least like have people pay attention, right? I didn't think it would get this far, but I was like, yeah, I could get partnered. I could make it happen. Like around there, you know? I was like, I could do that much. So I did. I was partnered in less than a year. You think having some initial capital or connections helped? I don't know how to start. No, because I only spent $250 on my first model, which people nowadays, I mean, it's way more expensive. That cost is like just for PNG a lot of the time. I had a very basic model that I spent $250 on, and then every other asset I made myself. So I didn't actually put starting capital into this. And I didn't have connections. I just showed up on Twitter with 0 followers and just started existing. And then I joined like a small VTuber Discord that was just for like people making friends, and I just hung out in there and met a couple of people, and we played games together, and we were all small creators, and that was it. I didn't actually have connections or anything starting out. And I still got to partner in beyond, you know, without really having any actual connections or capital put into this at all. that was me just playing games with friends of a similar size or solo streaming, and then doing like, I don't even know. Yeah, no, I made everything myself. I just opened Figma and made my own little overlays and stuff. That's all I did.
Geegler.
Oh shit. Siphoning. No, but I did that. And then at some point I made friends with people that like were more known, but it was way later. I'd already grown by that point. I was trying to not, like if I had a chance to talk to someone who was a bigger streamer than I kind of avoided it because I didn't want to be that guy. So, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be that guy, so I stayed away from it. But yeah, how often did you stream in the beginning? Let me see. My first stream, actually guys, it's my, glad we're on this topic, it's my 5-year stream-iversary. Woo! Technically it was Monday, but I've been so busy with other shit that I didn't even announce it. I just completely couldn't even like get anything done for it because I was just fucking so busy. But yeah, it is my stream-iversary. 5 years, dude. Actually, I should put that in the title. That would be good. 5-year stream-iversary. 5 years. You're asking if I streamed a lot in the beginning? I started on February 16th. Then I streamed on the 17th, the 18th, the 20th, the 24th, the 25th, the 28th, March 3rd, March 5th, and March 9th. I was, the schedule I'm on now, I was like almost on that schedule since the beginning and never fucking stopped. Here, here's the thing that shows streams by calendar day. Streams by calendar day. You want to see how even my shit is? Look at this. Look at that. Up at the top, February 2021. That's when I started. I came in at like 3, maybe 4 streams a week. And I just went boom, and I kept that shit consistent. You can see the 2 breaks I've ever taken. There was one end of January 2023. That was for my
history looked like that.
Your commit history. Right? No, I've taken 2 breaks, 2 massive breaks, and they weren't even massive. It was like 2 weeks. There's one there in right in the middle on the left. January, February 2023. That was when I got cancer for my surgery. Surgery for my cancer. Well, I got cancer, got surgery for it, right? That was then. And then in October of this year, I took like a normal break. That was it. That was the only breaks I've taken in 5 years, dude. And the early stuff was a slight, you could see like there are a couple more tiny gaps just because I was working. I still had a full-time job up until that point. I had like the first 2 rows there, basically, I had a full-time job. You know what I mean? You would have burnt out with that few breaks. Yeah, I don't really burn out. I think I'm burnout resistant because I know how to spend my day-to-day time in a way where I'll be all right. So I'm really good at keeping myself from getting to there. Not like literally incapable of burning out, but like it doesn't happen because I balance shit in a way that makes sense for me. You know. February 16th, 2021 had 2 viewers, poggers. Dude, no, my first stream. I'll tell you why I really stuck with it, especially. My first stream, I had... Let's look. First stream ever. 24 average viewers. Which is crazy. But back then, this was right at the beginning of 2021. Back then, if you were a VTuber and no one had seen you stream yet, they would show up to your first stream. There was a small community of like 50 to 100 or so people that would just some of them would just show up to random VTuber debuts so long as you posted on Twitter. That no longer works. That no longer works. It wasn't lucky. That was just the way the community was. Everyone who started around that time had that buff in the beginning. So it wasn't like standout luck from other people. That is literally how it worked back then. Because the community was so small. So there was a really dedicated VTuber community, and if you just showed up, there were so few people that were actually showing up trying to be VTubers at the time, because this was really early on. So you would just show up and be like, hey, I'm a new VTuber. Here's what my model looks like. I'm debuting this day. And you would get like 30 people in your first stream. Now, you still had to keep them, you know, but they would show up to the first one, always. That happened for the first, I'd say for like all of 2021, it was like that. And then 2022 and beyond, it slowed down, especially 23. It slowed down, and now you don't get people showing up to random debuts just cause. But it was like that back then, so it wasn't even luck. Everyone who started at that time was able to have that buff. So instead of debuting, I just played Biped with May, because I met her in that like little Discord. And she was like, you want to play games together? You're fun. And I was like, okay, you're fun. You know, and then we played Biped, because I figured instead of debuting, I'm not here to like be a famous VTuber. I just want to play games with friends. That's what I did. So I played that with her. And then the next day, it was like the middle of the afternoon, and another friend invited me to play Left 4 Dead 2 with some random people, and I said, okay. and I didn't have meetings until late that night, so I just played in the middle of the day. And then after that, my next stream, my third stream, was playing Battle Block Theater with another friend. Then I did Tetris 99, which was my only solo stream at the time. And then I went, wow, I want to play with friends only. So then I did more Biped with May, and then 2 streams of Apex with friends, and then 2 more streams of Battle Block to finish that, and then golf with friends, then Monster Hunter World with friends. So you see, it was just like all, and that was, we were into March at that point. So my first like month or so of streaming was literally only collabs because I didn't care, you know? And I didn't do a single, except for that early one that I tried, I didn't do a single proper solo stream until, let me see, April. May 2nd, I played new Pokemon Snap. And I was like, I'm going to start a playthrough of something that I want to play, and I'm actually going to, like, solo stream for once. Actually, no, 20th of April, I played Tetris 99, and then Paper Mario the Origami King. And I think from there, that's when I started doing some solo shit. And I was like, I'm going to try to grow. And then I did. And then from there, as soon as I started solo streaming, okay, so May 2nd, I was at like 34 average CCV. By the end of May, or June 1st, I was at 65. That next month, I was between the 40s and the 60s, it looks like. And then over the summer, I was like staying up at like 75 or so. I was over 100 a lot of the time in like July, August, and then I got partnered that October. So yeah, just some point I was like, I'm just gonna actually sit down and do playthroughs of stuff and like try, and then it worked. That was really it. That was really it. I think it worked out really well. Unexpected that it'd ever go farther than that. I thought I was gonna get to like, you know, partner, and then I was pretty certain I was gonna just stagnate right there because I was just playing like retro stuff and indie games and things, or like a lot of classic like GameCube era things. And I was like, I really don't think me just wanting to do this is going to be that marketable, but it wasn't what I cared about, so I was just like, whatever. I was like, it'd be cool to get my username, and that was it. You know? It's really all I thought about at the time. But yeah, things were so different then. Did you ever play Mega Man? I think I did. Did I play any of the classic ones? I don't know if I played any of the classic ones. I think I played Battle Networks. I think I did a full playthrough of 3 or of 6. I did a full playthrough of one of the Battle Networks. That shit was good. I did that at that time. But yeah. That was a long time ago, man. When did GFC start? I don't know, but around, I remember like around the time I got partnered was also around the time that I became friends with Moriko. It's probably sometime a little after that. Because I remember I didn't know the other girls in Girls of C. Here, I can go here now. I didn't know the other girls. I only knew Moriko, and she was like, hey, I'm trying to find people that want to play like older Monster Hunter. Do you want to play with some of my friends? I know you don't know them. And I was like, oh, I don't care. If you say they're cool, they're cool. You know, whatever. And then I sat there and played with them, and I was like, this shit's good. We played a couple more times, and we were like, pack it up. We're doing this regularly. You know? We're doing this regularly. And it worked. But yeah, it wasn't too long after that. Maybe that winter or something. I don't know. It's hard to remember exactly when a lot of these things happen. Like, some stuff I remember vaguely, some stuff I remember more specifically. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's all kind of blended together. It's been 5 years, man. I don't know. Would you agree that over 100 viewers on a very consistent basis is when one could consider going full-time streamer? That completely depends on where you live and what your cost of living is. I would say in a lot of places, absolutely not. But do you have roommates? Are you living at home? Are you trying to support your own apartment? Like, you know, I think you need to be. Here's my take. If you want to be in any way comfortable, you got to be a 500 plus. If you want to be in any way comfortable. Now, part of me building my platform is trying to bump that down, trying to get more sponsors to people like below 500, because 500 CCV is like where the sponsors start to care about you. And I'm trying to move that down over time. Because then, yeah, people who are to grind up to 500 like that, you've got to be trying really hard like you're full time. So a lot of people don't, they get stuck in this limbo of I'm too small to go full time. I don't make the money for it. But if I want to grow to that point, I'd have to stop everything and go full time and put the time into it, right? And they just kind of get stuck there. So I'm trying to like enable that crowd that maybe could do it to be able to do it, right? Like push some sponsors down to them so that maybe they could make enough to actually like maybe quit their jobs or maybe work fewer hours or something like that. But, you know, a lot of people get really stuck in that little area. I think you have to be like crazy good to be able to work full time and make it and not like quit your job to try to make it, you know, like it's tough. We're so lucky, which is honestly, it's usually not luck. It's usually opportunities that the person's able to take really well. It's genuinely like the person is just that good in most cases from what I've seen. The luck is the opportunity ever showing up, but everyone gets like one or two things in front of them at some point. It's just a matter of if they can carry that in the right way or know what to do with that opportunity. Sometimes people don't realize that something could have been good, and then later they look back when they know more and they're like, shit, I should have done more with that, huh? You know? So, yeah, my whole thing is to try and bump the sponsor level, that threshold that they only like to look at, down a little, right? I think that'd be nice. It'd be good. And getting sponsors down to smaller streamers might not change their life to go full-time on a lower basis, but it might be enough to bump occasionally to get them a bit more free time and make it up there. Yeah, right? Like, it's not going to be a, I'm going to save the world, I'm VTuber Jesus kind of thing, but like, you know, I can help a little, do a little enabling in a good way, right? That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Were you the one that reached out and got into smaller servers with creators, or was it by others reaching out to you? It was others reaching out to me. The first server was by this guy named Bubs. He's still around. Bubs reached out to me on Twitter. I think I replied to some post of his and was like, that's a cool idea, or whatever I said to him. And then he followed back, and at some point was like, yo, I got this little server. Do you want to join? And I went, fuck it. And, you know, there you go. And then from there, I was in that server, and while I was hanging out with some people there, it was kind of the Wild West because not everyone was there because they were already friends. It was just like people being thrown into a server that didn't know each other. So through there, I found a couple people that I thought were nice, and one of them was like, hey, we have a server of people that's like friend run, right? And we just invite people that we meet elsewhere that we're definitely cool with and pull them in. It's not like a random open invite if you want in. And I was like, okay. And that's where I met some of the people that I ended up staying good friends with, like Joel. Joel was one of my first like really good friends in the space besides May. I think May and Joel were like my first close ones that you still see around at least. And yeah, I met him in that like second server. It was just like a friends only, quieter one. And yeah, there you go. But that's how like I got to know people early, really. Just by talking. Just talking. It's super tiring to try to work full time while trying to build a community. Yeah. What I did was early on, it's not sustainable anymore at this community size, which is a little sad, but what I used to do was every Sunday was community day. So whatever I played on Sunday was always something that the chat, whoever was there, my community, could interact with, whether it be hopping into like lobbies of whatever I'm playing or just something that they could in some way influence. Like we're playing a game and I'm having a poll every time there's a decision point and letting chat choose or, you know, something like that. It was always like a community oriented game. And that was really nice, but you can only do that when you're a tiny streamer because as you get larger, all of that stuff is just like, you know, you have 1,000 people in your chat and you're in a Mario Kart lobby that lets 16 people in. You know, like it starts to feel unsustainable at a point. Yeah, we played community Valheim. We had a community Valheim server that I was playing on extensively, right? We were doing the bosses every Sunday, and you know, most of the people that were active in the community were playing on the server because the community was small, right? So it was very doable at the time. Unfortunately, that stuff gets super unsustainable, but I still like stuff like that, and I think anyone who's like a small streamer should really do that if they can. It was fun. That was like my favorite stuff, genuinely. So I think folks underestimate the amount of pull you can get just from being like a genuine person who's chill. You know what I realized over time? I only realized this retroactively, talking to people about like what it was like when they met me, or, you know, those types of conversations. What I realized was I was just hanging out, but a lot of other folks were like trying to be a content creator, be a VTuber, and this included when they weren't on stream. So they would be in VC hanging out, and let's say you're a snake girl, right? You're a VTuber that's a snake girl, and someone says something, and then you're like, haha, yeah, like my scales. And people were like just RPing in the VC a little bit, you know? And the thing is, sometimes there's like, I'm just funny RPing. And then other times they're like, hey, I just want you to remember my brand because I'm really trying to grow out here. And when people felt that latter energy, people would be like, ooh, you know, because they were just trying to connect with people genuinely, right? And they were like, oh. So yeah, if it was just like funny RP, it'd be one thing, but the vibe of it was not always right. And I think that was kind of the issue with a lot of people. And then they would be like, I don't get why everyone doesn't want to be my best friend. And I'd be like, I could feel that you're trying to self-promote to me, and I'm just trying to hang out right now. It's after stream. I'm just chilling, you know? I think that kind of had some people hamstring themselves. I think they were well-meaning, but, you know, it's how it goes. That's just how it goes. But yeah. So that's kind of like not the way to do it. Not the way to do it early on. So in talking to friends retroactively, there were some of them that were, I think Joel was one of the ones that I asked because he was already like kind of established VTuber. Really early on, he was one of the biggest names there was. And I asked him, I was like, how come you befriended me out of like everyone that was there? Like, how come you know? And he was like, because you were normal. That's what he said to me. He was like, you were normal and you weren't trying to promote. And you were not like begging me for collabs. You literally didn't ask me for anything. You just wanted to hang out. And I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. But I always thought about that. I was like, why is he friends with me? You know, of all people. But yeah, you just got to be a chill guy, man. Just got to be a chill guy. That's really it, I guess. I don't know, man. But yeah, that was how all my early shit did. For those curious askers. That was it, man. And now 5 years later, look at me. Snake woman. Look at me now. Now I'm John VTubing. Creating a platform so maybe some more people can go full-time or something. Thank you. Thank you. That's it, man. That's it. I grew a tail and started hissing. There you go. I don't know, man. I think 5 years is a long time. 5 years is a long time, but at the same time, most of you haven't been here 5 years. It's kind of just me and a few handfuls, you know, like most people have a life cycle for how long they stay with the creator. So while I go, oh my God, it's been so long. For a lot of you, it's just been like a year or two. Some of you just got here. A lot of you just got here. So it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy, you know? I think for a lot of you, you probably found me like 2023, 2024 or so. Right. Right. Yeah, a lot of you being around for like the VShojo era and stuff. Yeah. Will you be, oh, you mean my platform, strictly supporting VTubers or just helping small streamers in general? If you missed my rant at the beginning of the stream, I would go back and listen to it. I think doing things for only VTubers or only a tiny community is worthless. I'm trying to help everyone. Useless. I'm making something generalized that lots of people can use. That's all. That's all. I'm not making an agency or management company that only brings in VTubers or some stupid shit like that. There are plenty of those that do great and do fine. I don't need to make another one. I'm making a platform that anyone could sign up for. Even people I don't even fucking know. Once it's like launched, it'll be just anybody at that point. But that's full launch. That's full launch. That's like the slow rollout until then. Not every step of it will be that, you know, but the intent is for it to be that. You're from the GTA era. Yeah. Actually, a lot of you are. There's a lot of people that were like, hey, now that RP's not popping, I don't know what to watch. I'll just stay here. Like, quite a lot of you. A bunch of you were here before that. And then when I started playing RP, a bunch of you stayed, but new ones came in from it. And then a lot of those folks did stay because they were like, yo, RP's like all the good early stuff is over. So I'll just stay here, I guess. There's a lot of you from that. A good number. Yeah. You were right before VShojo. There's a lot of people that found me that summer right before it, yeah. Said you did watch a lot of it, but the drama, bro, my God. I know. That's why. Yeah, I moved it all to an alt channel because I was like, dude, I can't do it. I can't do it. Was an early collab with Mouse for you? I think my biggest number of new people at once from like one thing coming in was Bounce SMP more than anything. That was really what it was. Bounce was like the thing. Bounce was the thing. And I met a ton of people from that. And then after that, that's when I started branching out more because I started like a lot of those people that were from different walks of the internet started inviting me to other shit. And I think that's when I started just doing more in general, right? Realistically. First time I saw you was in a 3D collab with you RPing as an old lady in a hospital with a chibi model. Oh, God. The bit that never ended. The bit that I was trying to kill to death and I was trying to get it to end. But I wasn't going to be the one to end it. And I was trying to get everyone else to back down. And I was just sitting there willing to do that bit for 5 hours. I didn't give a fuck. I would have 24-houred that bit until people gave up. But I had it in my head. I was like, I'm not going to be the one to end this bit. I will not. And they just, dude, they just went with it for so long. I love stupid RP shit. I want to make little RP servers for games that are like not GTA and other stuff. Just for like a day or two kind of events or like a week, you know? My first stream was you doing a bank heist, model on the top right. Sykkuno was in the heist, but he wasn't supposed to be there and some guy started crashing out. Yeah, that was Buddha. The storyline was that Sykkuno's character like walked out on our gang that we were like doing the heist with, on our heist crew. And but then he contacted my character on the side and was like, he was like, I still want to do it. They're just being stupid. Can you sneak me in? And I was like, okay. So then I snuck him in. And then someone else in the crew was like, it was Buddha. His character was like crashing out because he's like, who the fuck is this random person while we're heisting a bank? You know? And it was just a good time, man. Oh, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, who the fuck is Firefly? He was using a voice changer and everything. Oh, it was so good. I love stuff like that. I like all the early days. All the early day stuff is the most fun. Marty was listening. The thing is, like, I think out of character, they like kind of knew, so they were laughing and trying to stay in character, where like their characters would be angry, but they themselves were laughing. It was a good time. I did it for the spice, man. The spice is always fun. No Man's Sky RP. That could be fun. I think it'd be hard for people to run into each other though. So the good thing about RPing on something like GTA or a game with like a nice fixed map like that is that people run into each other. But when you do No Man's Sky, everyone ends up really far apart and they might not ever run into each other. So you need to pick a game where like or mod it in a way where they're going to physically pass each other on the server, right? So like Minecraft servers are good for that because you can build hubs and stuff, right? Vintage Story was good. I want to do another Vintage Story server. The thing is, I don't want to do it the way we did it. We did it really casually, and it wasn't set up to be like a crazy huge RP server or anything. We had an initial list of people we were going to invite, and then Boone started inviting whoever was in his chat that wanted to join slowly over time. So it was hard for a lot of those people to really like fold into the story or whatever was going on. They were like people learning the game when other ones were already 5 days in. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really like that. So my thought was to do another one at some point, but then get everyone to join right at the start and not add anyone in after, you know? And that way, and cut it off. Be like, this is a 1 week or 2 week server. And after that, it is done. You know, I think that would be better. Maybe even shut down the server overnight because people were pushing the timeline ahead a little too much, and I was like, bro, you this isn't good. This isn't good. So, yeah, that's my thought. But we'll see. We'll see. Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, I would love to do a private Red Dead server and just do stupid shit on horses. Oh. Could be good. Could be good. But I liked Vintage Story. I liked Vintage Story a lot. Todd Howard wants you to make Starfield RP pop off. Dude, you you can't get me in Starfield, man. If stuff changed, maybe, but as it is right now, you can't get me to crack that game open, you know? Oh, Zen, thank you for the 5K bits. What the fuck? Thank you for the 5 more billion bits. Holy. Holy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it is the 5 year. It is the 5 year. I realized midstream. I talked for 10 minutes and I was like, shit. Moo. Moo. Shit, it's been 5 years, you know? So... Whoops. Whoops. Would you consider continuing your solo Vintage Story run at some point? I wanted to, and I still want to, but no. No, there's too much other stuff that I need to play, and I think the sick, disgusting number of hours that I would end up putting into Vintage Story would just not be conducive to streaming it, unless that's all I did for months, you know. I could do it, but I want to do variety right now. I mean, Glumpy, Glumpy, Glumpy. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you. Thank you. Star Citizen RP. I wish it were good, because I'm going to be honest with you. I would love if people that I'm friends with want to do RP on RP servers that are just not GTA, because I actually don't like GTA 5. You know, like as a game. I don't like it. I only liked 4. 5 isn't really a good game. The gunplay sucks. The map is what it is. I've already been around that map 1,000 times. It's fun to be on a map, you know, but, you know, I've already been on it. And so, like, I would love if other games that you could easily mod would become, like, the spawn for servers. But I think people just want, like, a normal-ass city, so there isn't really much but GTA, you know? We need more stuff. Need more stuff. You know what I mean? We need a community RP server? Fuck no. I don't want to moderate that. You know how annoying it is to moderate RP? Someone will be like, slash me, pokes you in the eye, and the other one's like, slash me, closes eye so it doesn't actually work. And then the other guy's like, no, I poked your eye out, dude. And then the guy on the receiving end is like, no, I don't want my character's eye to be poked out. And they have to call an admin, and admin has to be like, you can't force someone to get their eye poked out in RP. Brother, yeah, clown show. You think I want to sit there and, you know, I have a force field. Brother. Yeah, slash me, stabs you in the cock. Exactly. Like, it's a lot, is what I'm saying, okay? It's a lot. So, you know. I just think it's, maybe it's best to not worry about moderating an RP server for the community. Maybe not. Right? Maybe not. I mean, another thing like blueprints. I know. Nothing is scratching that itch for me. I played blueprints. And that was it. That was it. I played Outer Wilds. That also, you know, has the vibe. That was it. And I've been on this sick hunt for something that gives me what those games give me, like the search for the mystery. Nothing is giving me that. Nothing. So maybe someday, I don't know. But I feel like making a game like that, it takes forever. The Witness, I've already played it. I've already played it, and I wanted to crack it back open on stream, and the FOV made me motion sick, which was weird, because I don't remember being motion sick the first time, but I stopped playing on stream. I played the Looker instead, because that's a quick one. But the Witness also doesn't have, like, a lot of what Blueprints and Outer Wilds have of the environmental storytelling. Like, I want the sauce. I want the sauce, you know? I want the detective-y stuff as well. So it's not really about it being a puzzle game so much as it's about figuring out the story, piecing that together. I want that. I need that. That's the sauce for me. And it's hard. It's hard to find games that are really good with that sort of thing. One that kind of gave me that unexpectedly was I played Oberdin already. I played Oberdin. I played Duck Detective. I've played Myst. I've played Riven. I've played Talos Principle. But one that was kind of doing it for me was Cocoon. I played all of Cocoon on stream. And it was so abstract. It did not fully give me the sauce. It did not fully give me that. But it was very abstract. It was a puzzle game. It was good. And I was trying to figure out, like, what are we doing and why are we doing this? And when I got to the end, I don't know, it felt cool. It was a really good game. Yeah, 2024 Indie Game of the Year, Cocoon. The winner. That game was one of my favorites, and I was so happy that it won that award. I was so happy. Because also it didn't have that big of a player base. So I was like, oh, we're cooked. There's no way Cocoon's winning. But then the panel of judges were like, nah, this shit's a masterpiece. So I loved it. The sound design of guiding the player was amazing. I know. It was so good. It was so good. Man, I loved that game. Everyone should play Cocoon. Ugh. I spent the next year after I played it trying to 100% it, and I was trying to not look at guides or anything, so I was giving myself time because they said on the forums, everyone was like, yo, like on Steam, they were like, this shit's so obtuse. If you're trying to do this without guides, it's going to be really hard. Look at every grain of sand, you know, look at everything. And I was like, okay. And I eventually 100%ed it, and it took me so many hours to 100% it because I was just going back through the game, backtracking and looking at every little thing and trying to find out what the fuck, where are the codes? What are the things that are like, that mean something that I didn't realize meant something? But it was one of the greatest feelings in my life to 100% that game. Have you ever played Eclipsium? I haven't. Does that game have the sauce? Let me look it up. Eclipsium. Ooh. Oh, it looks weird. I like that. Oh, yeah, it's kind of freaky. It's a critical reflex game. Okay. I've done stuff with critical reflex before. Maybe I could ask them. I got friends in the publisher space. I could probably ask them and be like, yo, got anything cool? Got any Eclipsium promotions? Maybe they'll give me a key, that kind of thing. Looks cool. It's also got like a psychological horror edge to it. Neat. Okay, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna wish list so I don't forget. I'll add it to the list. I like horror as long as there's interesting gameplay. I just can't stand when it's like, hide under this desk for 10 years. Okay, the alien walked away. Now hide under the next desk for 10 years. I get so bored. So when it has like, you know, interesting actual story, that's good. So one day I'll 100% Tunic, but that game has so many secrets and I'm dense. Yeah, Bite, I really want to do Tunic, but I'm like, that's one that when I sit down to play it, I have to play it all the way through. I cannot let myself play other things in between because I'm going to need to make a crazy person whiteboard and keep facts written down and stuff like that. So I need to, I don't know how many hours it'll take me realistically. That's the other thing. But I need to be able to sit down and like be like, I'm only doing this for this whole time, you know? So. Yeah. You said you've always liked the Professor Layton games too. Yeah, I like a lot of mystery detective stuff too because I like just piecing story together. So anything that's Phoenix Wright-esque at all, I really enjoy. So that's why I was playing that kind of stuff with Haruka. And a lot of the time they're just visual novels. Like they will give you the story at some point, but I enjoy the process of, I don't care if it's a walking sim. I enjoy the process of going into a game, learning things as you go and trying to predict what happens and then seeing what happens at the end. Even if the gameplay isn't that crazy and they just kind of let you see the story, you know? I still enjoy that as long as it's well written. So I do like a lot of those detective style games too, because a lot of them are kind of like that. They don't always make you like have to put shit together too heavily. They'll eventually give it to you. But others are more obtuse. Yeah, Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is one where like they don't spoon feed it to you. It's all there to be found, but you have to take your time with it. But yeah, love that. So the secrets in Tune are cryptic as hell. I know. That's what everyone was saying. They were like, you would like this because it goes so deep. It goes like 100 layers deep. So I'm thinking at some point I'll go on a Tunic arc. I don't know if that'll be on main or if I'll just like, you know what I was thinking? When I need a break and I don't need to necessarily do a lot of work during that break, I just need to take a break. One of my thoughts was I take a break, and then for that whole week, I just play Tunic, and I play it on the alt channel, so I record it, but I don't talk. It is just a silent let's play. Maybe I type, maybe I show off my board, but I just don't talk so I can just zone out and do it. And that's it. Bite Super Bowl. Yeah. I thought that could be fun for me if I needed like a break. I did say every now and then I would take a break week, and I kind of like haven't since I did in October. Well, no, I did one. Over the winter, so maybe like next month when things have calmed down a little, I'll do 1 week of, you know, no mainstream, don't talk, because I need the occasional vocal rest. That's the big issue for me is I actually kill my voice sometimes. So. And I always stop it right before I experience like terrible strain, but it does pile up over time. So sometimes I need to like just wait, you know? Off topic, but do you have a favorite anime? Fist of the North Star. Maybe. What else? I don't know. I haven't really watched a lot of the newer ones. Only I watch the occasional anime, but a lot of them I drop. A lot of the time I watch an episode or two and then I just stop watching. So I haven't really felt like I like a lot of the new ones enough to finish them. I like Naruto. Not even Fuiwen. Well, I've read it. I keep up on the manga. So I don't really feel the need to watch the anime. But they go hand in hand. They're like the same, basically. I liked Cromartie High School. Maybe that's one of my favorites. I'll put it up there in the top 5. I liked Berserk. Though that was another one that I read rather. I watched some of it, but I mostly just read it. I do like JoJo. Yeah. I like JoJo a lot, but I'm not going to put it in like my top 5. Golden Kamuy, never saw it. What else? Full Metal Alchemist? Nah, I didn't like it that much. One Punch Man was pretty good, but I wasn't really that into it. I didn't care about finishing it. I really didn't care about it that much. Osterobo, thank you. Thank you. I don't know, what else? Dun Dun Dun, no, didn't watch it, didn't like it. Tried an episode and said no. I don't know, I always try things, but meh. Maybe I just hate anime. No, I like, right now the one I'm watching is one I've been reading. Because I can't decide how I feel about it, but I think I just can't stop watching it. It's the Darwin Incident. They're like touching topics that I didn't think anyone would be touching, and in a way where like you can tell, even though it's a Japanese author, this person has definitely like lived in the US for a bit. I really like it. I really like it. There's some stuff about it that the way the characters talk about it when they're doing their initial exposition comes off like a little cringe, but I think they have to write it. It's one of those manga / anime that's a little verbose. Kind of like people stand there and give a long exposition when they're trying to explain a thing to you, because there's no better way to get all that information to the reader besides just dump it quickly and then be done. You know what I mean? Otherwise you'd be like 20 chapters in and still explaining shit if you had to draw out every little thing. So they have, they do a good job of not making it crazy verbose, though. I feel like it's actually quite short so far. But, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Said, not gonna lie, I'm hate watching. It's pretentious. Yeah, that's what I mean. When they get verbose, there's, like, a lot of the, pretentious theming. But that's the point, though. That's the reason why I don't hate it, is because the more I've read and watched it, I'm realizing that it's, like, also trying to point out how pretentious all these people are and how they think about things they think about. You know what I mean? Like it's a little meta like that, which makes me not hate it. And so I've been into it. I just really like the animation though. I'm not gonna lie, the studio is doing a really, really good job. And the VAs are all really good. So I like the production quality overall. I've been really enjoying it. But the thing is, like, I agree on it being pretentious, but it's also purposefully like that a little bit, because that's how all those people are. They all think that their thing that they're talking about is so important. And so they have all those characters get up there and soapbox about whatever they think is so important. And you're watching them all do that at each other. And that's kind of like part of it, too, is to point that out. You know, like all these people are so lost in the sauce that it's disgusting. That's part of the writing, you know. So I like it. So I'm with you. I'm watching it because I like it and I'm hate watching it at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then Charlie's chill. The main character is just like, he doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, I don't know. He's like the one character that's not trying to be pretentious. He's just living his life. And they write him without even telling you what's in his head. Like all the other characters sit there and explain what's in their head and talk about what they're thinking and all their motivations. And Charlie, the main character, does not. He does not. You don't know what he's thinking. He just sits there and says a thing, does a thing, and then walks out. So I kind of really enjoy that. I like that. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, the show, I think, because of Charlie so much more than anyone else. You seen Violet Evergarden? Yeah, I didn't like that one. I tried a little bit. It was okay. I don't know. Really? Yeah, it wasn't for me. I don't think it's bad. Neutral at best. It just wasn't for me. About Claymore? No, I didn't like Claymore either. I didn't like Claymore either. I couldn't look at it. I couldn't look at it. You think Vinland Saga is the only shonen anime you've seen years of good writing? I never got into Vinland Saga at all. Never read it or anything. Kamen Rider. I've watched Kamen Rider. I've liked what I watched, but I've watched it super casually and in bits. I've never actually cared about the story, really. I watch it ultra casually, you know. Claymore is one of those girl protagonists whose clothes fall off animes. Anything that does that, I can't. I'm like, all right. Yeah. I know what you mean by like the encompassing bucket you can put it into. Yeah. You ever see High Card? Nope. Witch Hat Atelier. Which one is that? Random Witch Hat Atelier. Yeah, I think I read the first chapter and then just didn't continue, but I don't think I disliked it. I think I just didn't particularly like it. I was neutral. And I think I put it in a list of like, maybe I'll read that later, but then didn't get back to it. But that was one that I didn't dislike, but I didn't like it, you know? So it got put on the maybe one day, I guess, list, you know? I'll probably get to it at some point. Have you seen Nana? I hated Nana. Not for me. Not for me. Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, I saw Yu Yu Hakusho back in the day. I didn't even like it that much, but it was pretty cool. It was all right. Neutral on that one. What? Person discovers person with different opinions than them. Person discovers person with different taste from them. What? Keep in mind that, like, most of the time I was balancing if I wanted to watch a show or not with the fact that I had to work full-time and also more than full-time. So if something was just, like, something I was okay into, I wouldn't watch it because I had no time to even give it a chance. So if I was watching an episode of something and I wasn't grabbed within the first 10 minutes, I would go, nope, next. Because it's not like I had more than like 2 hours a week to be sitting there watching shit. Genuinely. So, you know. Keep in mind that it was very, very skewed by that, you know. And I went outside a lot. Like I had hobbies where, you know, you're not watching shit because you're outside hiking or something. So a lot of my recreational time that I didn't have much of was already spent doing that. Otherwise I'd be trapped inside all day. So yeah. Code Geass, I didn't like it that much. I remember seeing quite a bit of it, but it was okay. Hunter x Hunter was really good. I read it rather than watch it. But Hunter x Hunter was great, yeah. It's one of the few, like, long shonen ones I actually had the patience for. I liked Hunter x Hunter and Naruto and, like, Berserk. I was cool with those. Or, like, actually finishing them, you know? You've incorporated anime into your exercise routine. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's how I usually have to do stuff. I really just watch stuff when I'm eating food. That's it. When I'm eating, I sit there and watch something. And I don't really spend that much more time on it. So, you know. Heard the hiatus may be ending soon. Maybe. We'll see. Potentially. Drifters. I heard about Drifters, yeah. The boat arc of Berserk lasted longer than the entirety of Naruto. Yeah. I think that might be the longest one I've kept up with. But I read it rather than watched it. I did watch like certain scenes where I'm like, I want to see how this looked in the anime. I would go find that episode and watch it. But I did not sit there and watch it because I tend to read through that stuff and get through it a lot faster than, you know, if I were watching it as a show. So in the interest of time, I'll just read it. But, yeah, I liked that one. I like that one a lot. I could never do One Piece. I actually don't hate One Piece at all. I'm neutral to it. I don't dislike it. I just don't necessarily like it. So I've just kind of tried here and there, but I could never get myself to really like attach to it. I don't know. But I don't think I'll ever watch it. I think it would be at most reading it. At most. Because it's just so... I'll never have the time. I'll never have the time. You know? Yeah, way too long. I don't know. I liked a lot of older stuff. Like, oh wait, what was the name of that one? There were a lot of older ones that I remember watching, and I don't know if I would still like them today. It's just like looking at it through nostalgia goggles. I'm like, oh yeah, I enjoyed that. Oh, Wolf's Rain. I watched the entirety of Wolf's Rain. That was one that I was like, yeah, I like this. I don't know if I would today. I don't remember enough of the specifics, but I remember at the time being like, I like Wolf's Rain. It's a little furry core though, but not too furry core. Not too much, but a little. Wolf's Rain was depressing as fuck. Yeah, so I think I like stuff that's like full shonen, or if it's gonna be like about feelings or something, I want it to be like a tragedy. You know what I mean? Like, I love like the morbid curiosity hits. I love reading through or watching something that is just an absolute like depressing tragedy. So Wolf's Rain did that for me, you know? That did that shit. That was good. Angst. Yeah, angst specifically, though. Not just like, oh, I'm sad. Like, it needs to be angsty, too. Some ennui, some good ennui, a lot of melancholy. But a lot of things that try to do that, I end up really not liking because it has to hit. It's not like, it's not properly angsty. Yeah, didn't like Your Lie in April. Didn't like Elfen Lied. Didn't like that. For the person who typed domestic girlfriend, please leave and never type in my chat ever again. When we're talking about angst, come on. No Black Clover, no. Nope. Nuh-uh. Absolutely not. Says Silent Voice fucks you up. That was alright. It was alright. Neutral to it. I wouldn't say I dislike it. But it's also like, you know, where's the drama? Where's the drama? It's not angsty enough. It's just someone being like, damn, my shit sucks. And someone else is like, your shit sucks. I don't dislike you though. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what's exciting about this? Now I get that it's not supposed to be exciting. Now A Silent Voice is supposed to also be like super heartwarming. But it just didn't do anything for me. I don't know. I think it's because I don't like girls. So I didn't look at the female character and be like, she's so cute. I love her. If I had a deaf girlfriend, I would be nice to her too. Like, you know, I didn't have that in me, which is unfortunately like a huge part of the draw for the show. So it didn't really do too much for me because I wasn't like imagining myself and how I would treat a deaf girlfriend or something. Just be gay. I know it is that simple. It is. But yeah, that didn't do that for me. The Summer Hikaru Died. That one, yeah, I kind of like that one so far. I need to go back to it. We're skipping this song. Can't do it. There we go. I have to go back to it because I read through a bunch of it, like a huge chunk, and then I like to wait for some to build up and then go back. So that one was kind of doing it. I need to see where it goes, but I like it because it was truly filled with dread, that one, which is what I liked, right? Like, that shit is horror, filled with dread, filled with disgust, characters disgust at their own selves and shit, and I was like, yeah, you know, he was properly angsty. So I liked that. I liked that. Like, it's not weak shit, you know what I mean? So, I like that one. Oyasumi Pun Pun. That one was okay. It was depressing, but like, I was not excited by how depressing it was, if that makes sense. Wolf's Rain, I was excited by that shit being so depressing. I was like, whoa, where's it gonna go next? surely it gets worse, and then it did, and I'd be like, whoa, you know? Excited to see how bad it gets. I wasn't really getting that out of Oyasumi Poon Poon too much. I was just like, he's just, you know, bro surprised, I get it. You know, that's how I felt reading that one. I didn't hate it, but it was like, okay. It was okay. I don't know. But I like to see like real, like crazy angst or tragedy or something. You know, me playing Lost Odyssey again just to read through the 1,000 Years of Dreams and all the like tragic, sad stories. Oh, love that shit, you know? Dragon Ball? I feel like you had to like Dragon Ball if you like watched anything at that time because it was one of the only things that was on. I like a lot of the characters, but I don't actually like sitting there watching the show. I like the idea of Dragon Ball. Paranoid Agent? No idea what that is. Nameless Monster? Nope. No idea. Psychopaths? Never saw it. A lot of the newer stuff I just didn't interact with at all. Hitman Reborn? It was okay. It was alright. May I request we watch the latest Alien Stage? Dude, I love Alien Stage, man, which is not an anime. It's an animated like series of music videos with its all overarching lore. I love Alien Stage because it's just pure angst. It's doomed yaoi and doomed yuri and doomed straight couples. It's everything. And they're all doomed. And everyone's gonna fucking die. And it's great. It's great. It's just angst all over the place. So I really like Alien Stage. And I like the world building. I think the world building is very interesting. That they kind of throw in there too. It's in a very dramatic setup, right? That shit's like misery porn. Yeah, exactly. Exquisite agony. It's great. So yeah, I love Alien Stage. I love that. And the Vivanos, the creator, I'd seen a lot of his work previously, where it was other music videos and other writing and stories and things that were already in that vein. So when they were like, oh, we're gonna release a new thing, I was like, whoa, new thing. So as soon as they like showed the teaser for Alien Stage, I was like, this is gonna be so good. I'm glad it kind of got picked up by like a wider audience, especially like a non-Korean audience. I'm glad more people are like seeing their work because it's just good, man. It's good, and it's an interesting way to deliver that type of media without making like an entire episode of an anime, you know? It's cool. It's cool. It's good. And if you wanted to sit there and like get into Alien Stage, you could watch every music video, every bit of like media they've created with it, hear all the songs, whatever, in like an hour maximum, less even. Which is crazy that they've built such a huge fandom and done so much work on the media side of it, yet it's still just a tiny time commitment.
Don't stop.
It's great.
That pussy, let me see your doo-doo print.
What up?
Hello, fair general.
Oh.
Hope you've been well. You look different.
Yeah.
Wait, you did something with your hair, didn't you?
No.
It looks great.
Thanks.
We continue our abstinence from the Golden Corral. More men.
Good. We have to continue it in this wonderful 2026. No more Golden Corral. None. You will poop. Alma's cover of Ruler of My Heart was my top song of 2025. Was it? Ooh. Yeah, I liked her cover a lot. Did she do Blink On with someone, or was that someone else? Was that her? I remember someone covered it, and I felt like it came out really good. Oh, yeah, she did with the Narissa. Yeah. Though it's like, the whiplash for me is crazy hearing it in English. But yeah. I think that series is so good. They're still doing more with it, but they've kind of functionally ended the current version of Alien Stage. There's still more media to come, but they're on like a new arc, a fully new arc at this point. So Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Let me see. What was the last thing Vivnos posted? Yeah, they had their Karma music video. 7 months ago was the last thing that was posted. Dang. Dang. I'm just glad their shit got so much attention. I hope they're able to make good money from it, because YouTube views are good, but YouTube doesn't really pay you. So I hope the creator was able to like make merch and do all these things. I know they did some stuff, but I hope it worked out enough for them to be able to like fund future projects, you know? I hope so. Bought their art book for Alien Stage for a friend, but when it arrived, I didn't realize it'd be in all Korean. Yeah, I'm sure you can get people to translate online. I'm sure someone's translated it somewhere. It's not that hard to understand. Actually, you wouldn't know how to type it. I was gonna say it's not that hard to just type in a couple words and like be able to understand it. Because I've actually read through. I have the art book, but it's there's some stuff in there that's like, it's really good. They did a lot of world building, and they had a lot of passages where it's like, oh, it's a letter from this character. And it's a character you see in the background of a music video that you never actually see in like their main media on their YouTube talking or doing anything, but you get more backstory of how a character got to this next video between the two, you know, from someone else's POV, and they'll write little diary entries, things like that. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Oh yeah, Google Lens. I always forget that exists. Does that work well? I've never used it. Well, I don't really trust Google Translate to translate Korean. It always gets it wrong. That shit's always wrong. Actually, I don't think I've seen a single translator that like can translate Korean and give you the vibe of what people are trying to say, or like why they're saying it. You'll get a sentence, but like there's so much that's just wrong, or you'll get the wrong idea from the base translation, you know? And you lose so much context, which is the case with like any Google translated language, but Asian languages especially. Yeah, super Middle Eastern languages. I know. It's bad. So I think it's good to have like a basis in one of those languages and then just use it for individual vocabulary words, but to be able to understand how they're strung together so you can get around the context better. Because I think if you just put an entire like sentence in, it gets so much of it wrong. So much of it. It just doesn't make sense. Or especially like there's a lot of slang being used on the internet, and it just does not know how to translate that. Or like mild cursing. Mild cursing, it will just like translate it to the literal word instead of it being like, oh yeah, this is basically a substitute for someone saying this thing is so fucking whatever, you know? Like it just doesn't understand a lot of the slang. So that doesn't help. That does not help. One of my friends was trying to translate something, and she was like, what did this person tweak? And she asked me for help because she said, they keep saying like words about dogs in it, but I don't think this tweet's about dogs, but the word dog keeps coming up. And I was like, what do you mean? And I look, and the person keeps saying "ke" in front of "ke something," which is like, it's the word for dog. But when you put it in front of something like, I don't know, like "cape," right? That's like you're saying like it's really fucking pretty, right? It's like a curse, you know, but like mild. It's strong enough that they won't really use it on TV too much, but like it can be said. So I was looking at it and I was like, oh, they're not talking about dogs. It's you know, they're trying to do this. And when my friend would put it into translators, they just kept putting the word dog in there. I was like, okay, they don't get it, you know? They don't get it. Certain translators kind of understand, but they don't pick it up every time. So, yeah, the translators are just kind of not good. Not good. I hope they get better. Anyway, before we game, I gotta double check. I'm supposed to do more No Man's Sky with Mike today, I think. And if we did it the same as last time, then this would be around 6-ish again, which would be in like, you know, less than an hour. But he hasn't answered when I double checked. He's probably out doing shit, and then he gets home like a little bit before stream. So I need him to confirm. So I'll just leave our DMs open to make sure he's good for today. I'll make sure he's good for today. He's live? Oh, okay. So he just didn't answer. That means I can shake him down in DMs and I can go, answer me, you bitch. I just want to make sure the start time's good. Really mad. I sent a really mad email. There we go. There we go. How do you even find games to play? Just Steam or friends or Twitch? It's a big mix. It's a big mix. Twitter actually gives me a lot of recommendations because I follow a lot of indie devs and small publishers and things. So I'll see a lot of their games, and the Twitter algo just knows that I like that stuff. So the Twitter algo will show me if a random developer posts their game and gets 200 likes on their post, and that's it. And they're like, try my new indie game. Twitter will recommend that to me. I've curated my For You tab so well that it just, like, really, really, really gets me, I guess. And it does now. So instead of getting slop in my For You tab, now I just get, like, indie games. So that's been nice. So I find a ton of good recommendations from that. I actually had a bunch that I bookmarked today. Like last night and this morning. Let me see. Let me see. Check my bookmarks. And scroll. Yeah, there's a trend right now. There's a trend right now of people just typing, nobody asked for this game, but I'm making it anyway. Indie devs typing that and then posting a small video of some gameplay. And I've been finding a bunch of games through this that look like a good time for like a few hours, you know? So, one that I really want to play is Dense Attack, which is like... I want to show you. I want to show you. Have you seen it? Here's the post. Here's the post. It kind of looks like Subway Surfers, but it's a train just moving forward, and then it just like grinds on the rails occasionally and does tricks and shit. And I was like, dude, this shit's crazy. I had seen a post of it way before, but then this brought it back up on my feed, and I was like, oh shit. I gotta play that game. So putting it on the list. I'm gonna do an indie game gauntlet this Sunday. I'm gonna do one this Sunday. And I gotta see if they are playable, demoable, or anything like that. If not, I got a whole list. I got a whole list of stuff. But I think they are, so. Yeah. I got a bunch of stuff for this weekend, so. That'll be nice, because I've been wanting to do another one for a while. I also have one indie game that they wanted to sponsor, but they weren't huge. They didn't have like a crazy budget. So they couldn't like pay what was normal for me for like a full stream of it. And something I've been offering to some of them, I've been like, how about this? When I do my indie game gauntlets, if you want to throw it in the gauntlet and I play it for a short time, why don't we just do that? Because I still want to show off these games. But I can't let every small dev pay me $1 and then I play the game for like multiple hours, right? I can't I can't be doing that every time. So instead I'm like trying to offer them like a shorter, smaller slot, but still a guaranteed thing, you know? So I do have one that's gonna be sponsored and the rest won't be. I think that'll be nice. I think that'll be really nice. But yeah. Does No Man's Sky still get updates? Yeah, there was one last week that we played, so we're going to play again today. Is there a place to send in games for the gauntlet? There's a suggestions channel in the Discord. But that's not just for the gauntlet, that's for anything. Anything you want me to look at or play or whatever, you can suggest there. You know? You know what I'm saying? You said you tried looking down the releasing soon list on Steam. Yeah, the Steam's list for that. So many of those games never make it over the finish line, so I don't really use Steam that way. Things have to be out for me to actually consider them on Steam, usually. But yeah, I've been trying to think of like better ways for indie devs to do their marketing. So obviously I'm like making my platform, right? So that smaller companies will be able to still give like a little budget to maybe a smaller streamer who could still play their thing. But I'm trying to figure out like other ways for them to get their stuff in front of people. And I have some solutions that we're gonna try and build into the platform that will hopefully help, stuff relating to not always full sponsorships and stuff either, but you know, ways for them to maybe market their smaller projects a little better. I think it'll be nice. There's I also have them like do a lot of stuff that I just trial through me. So the example of them paying for like a tinier time slot, because if they want to pay someone who has really high CCV, they want to get in front of that many people, they don't need to do like a 2 to 3 hour segment. But the standard is that almost every sponsorship is 2 hours almost every time. So I'm trying to get them to understand, like, you don't have to fit within that. You can do just a 30-minute thing, right? Or maybe something else entirely, right? Like Raw Sember, we did a totally separate event type. So I'm trying to like, you know, test stuff on myself. We're gonna do lots of testing in the future with a lot of features that I'm trying out to see like how to help them, because not every small dev is going to be able to throw the amount of money that they need for a standard sponsor slot at someone, right? But I don't want them to be pigeonholed. They can only do certain creators, you know? So trying to figure it out. I don't know. Because everyone does the standard. They all do, you know, here's a 2 hour time slot. You play my game at least 30 minutes and 10 minutes before and after, respectively, of non-sponsored stuff. And, you know, one social post, a YouTube short, or a YouTube ad integration of 60 seconds. Like, they all have like the list of deliverables, and they're all the same 8 things in different combinations every time. So I'm trying to like, you know, let them know that there's other stuff out there, and maybe standardize some other types of sponsorships, because I think the fact that it's so rigid, and everyone has their rate for what like 2 hours costs for them, right? Or like something in general, a range. And I think I want to maybe have some other standardized stuff too, because I don't know. Small devs can't afford it. They can't afford it, but if they can get a streamer to like their game for 30 minutes on their stream, they might keep playing it, or people in their chat have seen enough to decide if they want to try it too, right? Like, you don't have to watch a full 2 hour segment for especially like a lighter weight indie game. I get it when it's these bigger AAA releases or AA, right? And there's just like, you need to put more time in to really understand what you're playing. But when it's these little projects, these little indie projects, I feel like they don't need that, you know? So I don't know. So I'm going to try that this weekend for the first time. I'm going to take a little tiny sponsor that is less than the usual 2 hour thing, and it's just in the middle of an existing event type, and see. We'll see. So I think that'll be cool. That'll be neat. And maybe I can get more of them to do that. I don't know. Yeah, you said I generally know 30 minutes in if it's a game I want to buy for myself. Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I get that viewers pass in and out. So having the 2 hours means that you'll get a lot of different people seeing it for 15 minutes or whatever. But I think they could still get good value out of that, especially like for me when it's an event that you know you're sitting down for, and you know you're going to get different games. You're aware of the segment type, whatever. It makes sense for them to be able to just be like, hey, play my game for 30 minutes, you know? So we'll see. And then there's other stuff that I want to try too. Kind of related. There's a lot of things I'm going to test over time. So it'll be nice. Some of it I've actually already tested. And it's all worked out pretty well. All the other things that I've tried out to help promote them. So I don't know. I just feel like more, well, I know this, but I'm going to show them that more options for everyone involved is better instead of it being so rigid. I'll play your game for 2 hours and do 1 social post. That is my package. You must buy the premier package. You know what I mean? You must buy my premium slot. There's just no point to keep it that rigid. So, we'll see. We'll see. I love the game gauntlets. I like doing them. Because I like trying stuff, but I don't necessarily want to sit down and give 5 hours of stream time to every game. I just want to show you and then be like, yeah, I'm going to play this off stream. Here's another thing I'll show you. Yeah, I'm going to play this off stream, especially for the lightweight stuff, you know? So I think it makes a lot of sense to just keep doing that format for a lot of things. If it's a particularly small indie project, 2 hours might even show the whole thing or close to it. Yeah, exactly right. If people have seen everything, then their interest goes away. They're like, oh, I've already taken this in. I don't need to see the rest, right? So, you know. A lot of you said you went and played Outer Wilds after watching me play it, especially because I did not do the DLC on stream. I played Outer Wilds right before I went to get my surgery to remove my tumor, right? So I did that, and then while I was in recovery, that was the game that I just gave to myself. I was like, I need something that is just for me, that I really want to play, that I want to sit here and play alone, and for me it was the Outer Wilds DLC, right? So I played it off stream. And because I didn't play every bit of that game, because of the DLC, on stream, there were a lot of people that then afterward were like, I bought the game because I watched you play it and I want to play through it myself, but more so because I didn't get to see you do the DLC and I wanted to see it. They were all like really into it. So I see the value in like not finishing a game on stream for the advertiser, you know, like, yeah, people wanting to see the rest. What a good fucking game. That DLC was so good. So good. To this day, I still get people commenting occasionally or saying something and being like, do you have a recording of you playing the DLC? I want to see it. But no, I didn't record myself because I was like dying. I was laying in a bed unable to move, dying. So, you know. But it was so good, man. And it wraps up so many bits of the story in an amazing way that you don't need when you play the base game, but it gives it a whole entire different flavor. It's so good. Can I pay you to play 5 minutes of Tunic? Dude, I've thought about that. Make a game gauntlet, but it's not indie. It's just a general game gauntlet. And I let people beforehand, if they give me the money that is the cost of the game they're trying to get me to play, I'll play it for 15 minutes. And then I just go through and play a bunch of shit that people like. You can pay for a slot, but it has to just be the cost of the game, so I'm not losing money doing the event. That's it. That's all I care about. And then we go through all of it. I thought that'd be fun. Make me play a day. Or something. Watch a streamer play the DLC and to answer what you were thinking. Yes, I regret it. I'm an idiot. No, yeah, you have to play it yourself. I'm trying to get... Okay. I want her to play it, yet I don't. I want Henya to play Outer Wilds and to play the DLC. However, I'm highly concerned about people spoiling shit. I'm highly concerned about people spoiling shit. Because her being ESL means that she has a chat that wants to help. And the line between I want to help you versus I'm just going to tell you what this means is, it doesn't work with that game. You know? So she would have to put it into emote only. Even emote only, they would start making smoke signals. They would start using emotes to tell her what to do. You know? But I don't know. Some streamers are not willing to stream and put it in emote only. But yeah, her chat would 100% spoil. Mod her stream, I'd have to not stream because we have, you know, like our times overlap a bit. Honestly, I would do that if she wanted it. But I think I've offered to friends if they want to play it and they want to leave their chat open, but they don't look at it. I look at their chat because I already know what the game's about. We let chat say whatever they want and the streamer doesn't read the chat and instead I just tell them stuff. I'd be like, they're laughing. They're laughing at you. You know? They're laughing at you right now. Like, just say shit like that, you know? Or I take questions from the chat and, like, give them those questions. And also, I'm a sicko and I know like way too much about that game, so I'd be able to help without spoiling for them. I think that could be fun. I would do that for an entire playthrough of that game with her. I would. Or what if I also stream it, and in my chat you're allowed to say whatever you want, but her chat's emote only? I just wouldn't want to stream someone else's content. You know what I mean? That's why I've never thought about that until now. Could be good. It could be good format. Her chat's very reasonable, though, so I think they would understand if I was like, don't spoil! You can't! You know? The Visage playthrough with Henya was the first bit of content of me that you saw, and it was god tier funny. Dude, yeah. Well, that's the thing, is I've already sat there and just played a game with her where I wasn't playing at all, right? I've already sat and just watched her game, which was Visage, where she was playing the game, and I literally just was there. That was all. It wasn't even a collab necessarily. I was just sitting there laughing at the ghost because she was scared and she was like, I don't want to play this alone. But the ghost looked like Justin Timberlake, so I kept laughing. It really did. It really did. The old woman ghost. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. But I would do that. I would do that for any close friend if they wanted to like play a game and just have me there. They can contract out my services, you know? So I think Outer Wilds community is very careful about not spoiling. The overall Outer Wilds community is general communities that aren't really part of that but know about the game a bit are not. So it doesn't matter because it only takes like one guy to ruin an entire thing, you know? It's tough. And in that game, every little hint anyone could give you about the gameplay can ruin entire story points for you. Because every mechanic that exists in that game, every bit of knowledge about how to do a thing, is story relevant also. So you just can't help the streamer without spoiling very much at all. Like it's super difficult. Right? Like, spoilers, there's a planet you go into, and when you go into it, there are bad things in there. And when you go in there, the streamer might be like, oh my god, I keep getting eaten, I don't get it. And then someone will type, just stop moving. That person just ruined it because there's another place you can go that gives you a hint about them and tells you about, like, the habits of that thing. And it's like, oh, this creature does this. And then you can put two and two together. Now they just ruin this, like, little point where this person could have had a cool realization and satisfaction arc and get the knowledge and now do the thing. You know what I mean? It's just lame. It's just lame. So even helping someone with a mechanic, like, just ruins the fun of finding it out, you know? Oh my god, yeah, people going, did she find out blank yet? And it's like the whole story, right? Did she see the sun blow up yet? Like, people are crazy with it. They do with every game. They do. Crazy. People do that in my chat too. Not as much, but they do. They'll come in here and it'll be someone usually who's newer to the chat. They'll come in and they'll be like, "Oh, has she gotten to the part where blank yet?" Or they'll try to be obscure so that they don't spoil me, but there'll be a character that we don't know is bad yet, and they'll be like, and his name is Jerry, and they'll be like, did she find out about Jerry yet? And I'm like, okay, well, now you just red flagged Jerry. Even if I don't know what you're saying about him, now he's a red flag. Now I'm gonna, everything he says, now I'm gonna be like, oh, maybe Jerry's evil. You know what I mean? Like, people do it like that, where they try to not backseat, but they still fuck it up. Right? You know, like, they ruin that shit. So that's why I have a hard time recommending, like, games like that to friends that are streamers sometimes. You know? It's tough. It's tough. I hate it. The no backseating rule here works quite well. We're pretty good here. What I did when I played Outer Wilds, this was my strat. I let chat type. I didn't put in emote only. And I took Post-its and I put Post-its on my monitor. So I had chat open and I put Post-its on my monitor so that they would cover the bottom, like, 5, like the 5 most recently sent messages. So that way, if someone typed something, the mods would have time to snipe it before it moved up high enough that I could read it. And it was like kind of like me adding like a manual mini delay, right? And so the mods were able to get to stuff quick. I wouldn't see it, you know, get the strike through and then full delete, so I wouldn't see it at all. And that was the best way for me to do it. I was able to do it like that. So, yeah, I liked that strat. I think that worked pretty well. But also my chat wasn't so fast at that time that I couldn't do that. It could be tough. I was expecting more people coming in and spoiling for Karen, but I think the good news is that I played it quickly enough. That's really the way to avoid spoilers, is just play it when it first comes out. And then if it doesn't get played when it first comes out, now you have to strategize, you know? Like, now you have to really do something about it. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Maybe I can get her to play it one day. Maybe. Maybe I could make her do it in a video form. That's a lot to ask for a friend, though. Can you play this game for me? Also, don't stream it. You know? That's maybe a little too much. Like Warlock yesterday saying he wasn't going to do anything with the Nexus password, Octa, after a chatter pointed out. Oh, did a chatter point out, Nanbu? Yeah, I mean, my character noticed, so I said something to him later, but yeah, stinks. Yeah, your community's been modded to not spoil by this point. Yeah, I think everyone here gets it, and I think you guys understand, like, the fun of watching someone not get spoiled, right? Of watching them figure stuff out, and like it takes them like an hour of gameplay to get to the point where they find out a thing, but the real reaction of someone realizing something is much more worth it than it being spoiled and then they get there and they have a, you know, like basically no reaction to this information they were already given, right? I don't know. It's just more fun like that. It's more fun like that. But the mod team is just well trained, you know what I mean? And your strat did very well of not spoiling Mega Man. That's a way older game. Yeah, but Mega Man doesn't have the insane story points that, like, Outer Wilds does. It's just really hard. It's really hard to comment on Outer Wilds at all without spoiling. That's the hard part too. Like when someone gets to a new planet, you can be like, oh my god, it's so pretty. I really like how, you know, there are crystals on the ceiling of this one or something like that. But then that makes them look up. And now that they looked up, they might notice that there's something mechanically they can do. And they wouldn't have looked up if you didn't say that. Now you just spoiled something. And you were just commenting on the environment. You weren't even trying to tell them where to go. Right? Like Outer Wilds is a game like that, where like you could make really innocuous comments on a lot of little things. And then it'll cause the streamer to look at something, and just them looking and noticing that thing might be you pushing them, even though you weren't trying to. You know what I mean? So that can be a little tough. That could be a little tough. You see NL react to Pregnant today? No, someone came in at the very beginning of stream and was like, has anyone Paul revered her? I haven't seen the clip. I am not aware of the big news of today, which is people getting NL to look at Frank-a-Man, I guess. I was not aware. I don't know. Was it good? Or was it just him going, what's that? Whoa. It was good? Okay. I'll be the judge. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. Oh, you posted it. You spent $126 on the pit. No. I was laughing because we rated Peter Park. And he was right at the ending of Blueprints, or the ending. He was at the main story ending when you find room 46, and then, you know, if there's more game beyond that. But he got through that, and like the dramatic, like beautiful telling with all the atmospheric ambient music and you know, characters reading through the book and everything, and it's like wonderful. And we raid in right at that moment, and while we're raiding in, instead of him like paying attention to the cutscene, he's like, what is that emote? And he's like, is he pregnant? And he's just talking to the chat. And I was like, lock the fuck in. You're like, he didn't even notice that like she was wearing the blue scarf, right? If he was locked in, he would have been like, oh my God, her scarf is blue. But no, which is very relevant to the game. Makes sense if you got into the end. But no, and he didn't even see that. He was looking at chat going, is that pregnant Mega Man? It's like, fuck, man, lock in. Lock in. I'm glad he liked the game, though. I'm glad he got through it. I have a lot of friends that just could not handle streaming it. Because they were like... They felt... the game made them feel stupid, but I don't think it was that bad if you just go through it slowly, but they're impatient. So... I don't know, but I would like to get more friends to play Blueprints on stream. I got an Evan to play it. And he played it. And gave me updates along the way, and then when he finished it, he was like... Cinema, you have given me the greatest content gift you could ever give me. This was a wonderful experience. 10 out of 10. Like, he gave me this long message. And I was like, yes. Good. But yeah, I wanna try and get more people to play both of those games, Outer Wilds and Blueprints. We gotta infect everybody. We gotta do it. Blueprints requires the mindset that ending a day is not losing a run. I think you have to play a good number of roguelikes before your brain is really like locked in on the true goal, you know what I mean? The true goal. Zen knows your Outer Wilds playthrough. Zen does, actually. Let me check Zen's Outer Wilds hours. Hold on. Checking Steam right now. Does she have it posted where I can see it? Games. Find game. Outer Wilds. Total time played 117 minutes. Okay. Okay, she's played more of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, than Outer Wilds. My God. We have to fix her. I gotta say, one of the people that was hardest to watch play it at first, but then got it, was Heavenly. He heard me talking about it, and I was telling him, you have to play this. He opens the game. Now, he's not a reader. He does not like to read the game. He likes to just blow through it. So he said it took him a bit at first, and his chat was crashing out, and it was funny. He started playing it, and he was not reading shit, and he had no idea what was going on. But he read like one little line of text somewhere, and he got that itch of like, I actually want to know why this thing is here, though. Right? And then from there, he started actually reading some of the text. And as he was reading through it, he was like, oh my God, wait. I remember this guy's saying this, but I saw the thing he's talking about in this other place. And like that happened one time, and he was hooked, fully hooked. And he just went and started like, he learned to read, guys. He learned to read. And the game is actually not that dialogue or reading heavy. You do a lot of looking around and doing stuff more than you do actually reading. But, dude, it was so good. It was so good. You watched someone started making family trees of the Nomai? Something I wish I did on stream. I ended up doing it later. I actually went through the game and went to all these areas and reread stuff. And I made a timeline, just a linear timeline of each person, each one of the Nomai, and what they were doing when. So I was like, okay, at this time, somewhere around this time, like at least the chronological order of what happened before what, this person was here in this lab. And then later, you know, after these events, then this person went to explore this thing, and that was where they passed, you know, like stuff like that. And I was like putting them all in a line so I could see who died before the thing and who died from the thing, and, you know, etc. It was cool, man. It was cool. But it's hard to get friends that like don't gravitate toward reading to play Outer Wilds, because they skip through and they don't really absorb what they're reading at first. But we gotta find the right people to like really get into it. Yeah, timeline would be useful. That's what I wanted for me, because I was trying to understand some things, like why they were the way they were, so I went back through and like made some notes. I kind of wish I did a whiteboard like where like where I did the whiteboard and blueprints, right? And I did that whole thing. I wish I did that during my playthrough on stream. I don't think I did stuff like that for most games at the time, though. At most, I had like Notepad open, so oh well. Oh well. Yeah, Pepe Sylvia moment. That was how I did blueprints. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah, finding corpses in the house was unexpected, but makes perfect morbid sense. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. I think Henya, if she did play, since she's ESL, would need someone to help explain some things where it doesn't get spoiled. Yeah, some of the wording that they use, it's a little sciencey. A little sciencey, so being able to quickly explain it would probably be nice, so she doesn't have to go, like, looking it up, or having chat explain it and then they accidentally spoil, you know? They wouldn't have to worry about it. But, yeah. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to open No Man's Sky. We're going to play it. I was going to play something else first, but I started a little later today, so I figured we'd just chat first. Where is it? Here. Here. Let me turn off my BGM. Here we go. Let's go over here.